All alone out there in the Pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break loose.
What's this Pale anyway?
The Pale? It's the end of the world.
How'd you get your hands on this thing anyway?
I built it myself.
And she's proud of it too, as she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
Have you experienced the compressor yourself?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
Good for you.
She's carrying a 2-barreled front loader. Remain careful. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but she can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll get through this. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time.
How'd you know we were coming?
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
By hiding bullets under your floorboards?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
She didn't rat you out, by the way. The washerwoman.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back.
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hardy for one.
You're desperate, aren't you?
I was. Before I caught you in the Pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for... So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Preparing for the worst.
I was. Before I...
That's her admitting the...
I heard you in the passages. So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
You don't need
Not
that.
anymore, no. This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
Did you shoot Lily?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
You're right, Claudia was the first to share her suspicions.
Oh. I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
The first guess wasn't entirely
Titus
off.
and his boys, man. They told us you were on the coast.
Well, fuck. Those guys liked me, I know it. If this is what happens to people whom people like, how the fuck do the rest of you get by?
Wait, wasn't it you who called me in the human can opener? It's not personal. I opened them up.
I did, didn't I? Now you've come for me. Fuck them all the same.
I have other questions.
I'm listening.
You like Claudia a lot.
I considered her a good friend, yeah.
Are you a girl like her?
What the hell, man? Yeah, why not? I've gotten worse.
Is peeping one of your hobbies?
I'm not following your clever insinuations, Detective.
There's a hole in the wall you can see into Claudia's room. I wouldn't blame you if you...
If I want to stare at a pretty girl, I can pick one up at a bar. Or, worst case scenario, look at a naughty photo. Who has time to go skulking about the whirling, drilling holes in walls?
Claudia looks like a girl. In one of your posters, she seems to be your type.
What the fuck, man? She's everyone's type. She's your type. Are you sure you're not the one who is excited about the peephole?
She's beginning to suspect you've broken into her lorry now.
So you haven't been watching Claudia through a hole in the wall?
Nope. Look, she has an effect on people. That je ne sais quoi that makes it impossible not to look at her when she walks into the room, and very difficult to look away. But travel enough and you realize, for the same reason that she's everyone's type as an object of desire, she's not irreplaceable.
But you wanted to be more than just friends.
Oh, so that's where you were going with this.
So that you wanted to run away with her.
That's a very sentimental way of putting it. We both had pasts we didn't want to catch up with us. And we enjoyed listening to music together. Why not go on a road trip?
The lieutenant watches her expectantly, occasionally shaking from the pain.
Okay, fine. I was into her. Claudia was into me too for a time, I know it. We even fooled around once. And yeah, after that I thought maybe we could make a go of it.
Claudia only said they maybe kissed. Someone is lying here.
Claudia said you only kissed.
If that's what she wants on the record, so be it. I'm not about to go into details for you to jerk off to later.
Then what happened?
She rejected me with some wishy-washy bullshit about how she was confused because she felt so close to me and valued my friendship so much, and how guilty she felt for leading me on. I knew that wasn't the whole story, but thought, fine, I'll take it and move on.
Claudia said you got very angry when she started seeing Lily, threatened her.
Yeah, one time when we'd both been drinking, I said some heated things about how dangerous her patterns with men were. I was a little worried she'd blow it out of proportion in her head. All the drugs she was doing can make you feel like you're living in a DeLorean tragedy.
By the way, DeLorean tragedies are still held in high regard for innovation in language and motifs. They are also known for overwrought emotions leading to catastrophic outcomes.
And despite everything, you helped her by staging the lynching.
Yeah, the girl seemed terrified. The merc was beyond caring what happened to his mortal coil. It was a no-brainer. Go ahead, it's your body.
And mine too, he thinks. But keep on. This must be done.
You're running drugs from the Union. I've been through your lorry. Yeah. Do you like to hang out on rooftops?
Who doesn't? Oh, you probably mean Claudia's rooftop. Sure, I've hung out there. She's got this great antenna.
Is that the only reason you hung out on the roof?
The view's pretty bomb, too. But you might say the antenna was the main attraction there, yeah. Along with Claudia.
What was so great about her antenna?
It's very powerful. I used it to tune into RCM frequencies. That's how I knew to be prepared for your arrival.
So you're sure you didn't shoot Merc from the roof?
Yes, I'm sure. In fact, the shot couldn't have possibly come from the roof. Otherwise, we would have heard it downstairs.
No one mentioned hearing any shots. And a rifle like the one used would have been loud. She's right. I don't think the shot came from the roof.
You have a gun?
And
Where'd you get
the
it?
gun store.
What
Trigger
gun
Happy
store?
Jacks.
Doesn't sound like the name of a real store.
What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, I'm not that kind of gal.
I see it's a front loader. Do you have another gun somewhere?
Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No.
I can't quite tell what kind of gun it is.
A Noctway 80 front loader. 2-barreled. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
There's other evidence I want to ask you about.
Yeah. Evidence.
Do you have an alibi for when Lily was shot?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon you.
There were 10 minutes they couldn't account
You
for.
mean the length of a toilet break? That wouldn't even have been enough time.
Hold on, no one takes a 15-minute leak.
Look, fuck you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Our investigation has shown that 15 minutes was just enough time to commit the murder.
Wow. Now I'm curious. Please, explain.
Play pinball much?
No. Not since I was 14 and hanging out in the only diner in Dardun. Haven't been into low-risk, no-reward games since moving to the city. Why?
There are some mysterious pinball machines in some pretty mysterious rooms in the Whirling.
Yeah, and probably some ghosts from the time of the suzerain. I'm not really interested in supernatural mysteries.
What kind of mysteries interest you then?
Not murder mysteries either, if that's what you're thinking.
She looks you in the eye impassively, making it clear that she's not planning to comment on the matter any further.
That's a shame because I happen to be a paranatural detective.
Cool. They sent a ghost cop after me. Congratulations.
What about elevators? Do you like
The
elevators?
fuck do elevators have to do with anything?
Do you or don't
Not particularly.
you? Why not?
Why are you so hung up on elevators?
That's a pretty good question, actually. She clearly doesn't know anything about the secret passage.
Not even quaint old rickety ones?
I'm not really into old shit for old shit's sake.
God damn it!
Look, there's a secret way from the ground floor of the Whirling to the roof.
Don't know it. But also, the shot couldn't have come from the roof. Or we would have all heard it downstairs.
She has a point there. No one mentioned.
That didn't go super well. You've got to lay something better on her.
You're running drugs for the union. I've been through your lorry.
So, Heart of Gold Tommy fucked me over too. Never trust a musician.
Yeah, I made him talk.
Yeah, that figures. What now? You're going to arrest me for drug trafficking?
You're a criminal. I can't trust anything you say.
That's your prerogative.
You had a financial incentive to kill the Merc.
Man, it's to get away from all that murderous shit that I left Jamrock, my previous employer, for the union.
She deliberately avoided naming the mob she worked for. You might be able to find this out later.
I got lucky being a dispatcher. Never had to do any of the really dirty work myself. This gun has only been used for self-defense against serious scum.
But you're threatening us with it.
Based on what I've heard about you, you are serious scum.
Okay, let's take a step back.
Yeah? Where?
More questions before doing anything.
Who killed the Merc if it wasn't you?
How should I know? As I keep saying, He already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip over the radio.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Clausia's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long while.
What happened Sunday night? Tell me your version.
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sincerity.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Clausia comes in, all pale and shuddering. She sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her.
Did she seem high to you?
Oh yeah, super. But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
Claudia said you knew something was wrong immediately.
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
Claudia said you seemed to have a plan prepared when you got there.
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
Her idea?
Yeah, in cold blood. It really surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. The party girl was gone. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck. To fake lividity. Then she dressed him while I went to get the Hardy Boys.
She lied to you about that, too.
Showerhead, resourceful.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed.
Do you think she killed Lily
As
herself?
I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide. She doesn't want the guilt.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people after what they did to me.
If you didn't kill him, why hide?
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn La Puta Madre agent.
What do you mean, La Puta Madre agent?
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head, you hear the lieutenant mumble something to himself. Fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the white noise. It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Who's everyone? How do you know this?
Everyone in Jamrock. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Tell me what's my name if you know that about me. You must know my name.
Harry Dubois. One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie. Agent to La Puta Madre.
All of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared of you.
La Puta Madre? I've heard of La Puta Madre. He's dangerous, right?
Is that a joke or a threat?
No, that was a real
I'm guessing
question.
both. Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe you.
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to you soon enough.
What did you do to this Madre anyway?
You've been to my lorry. You think the biggest player in Jamrock appreciates competition? And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fucking Titus.
She's not going to change her mind that easily. she still perceives you as a threat. Wait, one thing, possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
When I came into town, was there anyone with me?
Yeah, you had your death squad with you. What happened to them anyway?
Who was the squad?
Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had 2 guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either.
What else can you tell me?
One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him. And the woman was the only one in uniform. All were carrying. That sound about right?
No idea who these people are. Literally. Satellite Officer Vicmere looks out of the window grimly, then puts his coffee down and turns to Patrol Officer Minot. We could either take a room here in the Whirling or go home for today. Let's go home, Jean. Nothing's going to happen today, she responds quietly. Jean takes his blonde wig off. Call Heidelstam. He can give us a ride.
I think I know them. They're in Martinez.
Friction. Lock.
Fantastic. I've got to get on the road. Then you can go find your friends. Unless you have anything pressing to ask me.
Do you know about the bunker next door?
What bunker?
The communist hideout back there.
Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Keep calm. Breathe in. After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer.
Okay, let's try it. Oh. Did we do it?
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell, but...
You're under arrest.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
What are you doing?
Problem solving.
Ma'am, put the gun down. That's not the solution to your problems. You are...
Oh, yes it is.
Rhetoric, save me!
She's truly desperate. She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options.
What options?
You know.
Maybe I can still talk her out of it?
This is how you talk her out of it. It's the only scenario in which she lives.
Please, just walk away.
She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
You don't have to do this. You're not cornered. I'm letting you go.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
Good call.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. I would have done the same had I not been incapacitated.
I think she didn't do it.
Her tent. We should check it out.
Oh, that was intense. My god. Money. Cooking utensils. She has prepared herself porridge with bananas. Health. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Dark water trails into the distance. There is no way out.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used to camping out.
Look inside.
The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled-up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes.
Shining flashlight on the books.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Shift through the magazines.
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's not a magazine, it's a leather notebook.
A notebook.
You pocket the worn brown leather journal.
We should read this immediately, like right now.
Okay, let's read it. Interact. Well-loved journal with a brown leather cover and the brand name embossed on the back. It seems to have served a loyal friend to a lonely
A
traveler.
thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it around in their back pocket.
Examine the
It's
cover.
made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name, Schneller.
Schneller.
Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously.
Unwind the strap.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Study the
The
handwriting.
large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently, perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Flip through the pages.
It's a mix of logistical notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
What kind of logistics?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like contact information, quantities, directions.
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes. I can give this to her after we finish this.
What kind of diagrams?
Esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Anything personal?
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them.
How far back do the entries
The
go?
first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember, no one is indispensable.
What did she write about the day Lily died?
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter entirely. You have no idea what she means. These are personal notes. Don't expect to understand all of it.
Anything about Laputa Mondre?
That name
Madre.
isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre. M is mentioned on March 9th and March 15th.
Read the entry from March 9th first.
Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me Did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic. The entry ends abruptly.
What's the most recent entry?
The most recent entry is from today. Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed.
That would be a first, or a fourth. But who's counting, he thinks. Very rarely does anyone actually get framed.
If she didn't do it, then maybe it's good that we didn't catch her.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than Weda's. Especially if she has problems with the Madre.
Kim, am I really a Puta Madre agent?
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
He truly does not believe you are. Perhaps he shouldn't be so trusting.
Then who do you think killed the merc?
Classio was the one who pointed the finger at Ruby. Perhaps she was trying to steer us away from herself, or
But no one heard the shot.
maybe she had an accomplice. Either way, we need to keep an eye on her.
I agree on that.
One thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and rags. Questions to ask. We should get to it.
Well, guys, with that, I'm going to end this stream here. I hope you enjoyed the stream.